everyone, buckle up, because today we're hitting rewind on some of the biggest cinematic moments out there.
That's right. We're taking those classic movie endings we all know, the ones that left us speechless, maybe even a little teary-eyed,
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
and we're going to flip the script.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where things went just a little differently.
Exactly. We're diving into the ultimate what-if machine, all thanks to this awesome article we found called A World of Cinematic What-Ifs. It's seriously gonna change how you see your favorite films.
It's really going to make you think twice.
So first up, let's set sail with a movie that needs no introduction. Titanic. We're all familiar with that ending,
Heartbreaking, right?
to say the least. But here's a thought what if, and just hear me out, Jack actually found a way to survive.
Well, in this alternate reality, it all comes down to a tiny detail, but one that sends ripples through the entire story. Picture this. Jack, in a moment of pure desperation, spots a piece of debris.
Okay, so no floating door this time.
Afraid not. This piece is small, but just big enough to keep him and Rose afloat.
Talk about a close call.
You said it. And with that one tiny change, Titanic transforms from a tragedy into a story of resilience.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. But would it still have been the cultural phenomenon it was without that heartbreaking ending? Part of what made Titanic so unforgettable was how it stayed with you long after the credits rolled, right?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would a happier ending, even if it felt good, have taken away from that emotional punch? Would it have resonated with audiences on the same level? Titanic wasn't just a love story. It reflected those anxieties of a world on the edge of change.
Right, like the sinking ship was a symbol for something bigger.
Exactly. A happy ending might have undermined that.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted a more uplifting ending, or did that bittersweet feeling make it more impactful?
You know what? That's a really good point. The cultural context really makes a difference in how we see things, doesn't it?
Like looking through different lenses of the same event. Each one gives you a new perspective.
Love that. Okay, ready to switch gears. Let's go from a sinking ship to a whole universe on the brink.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're talking about Avengers, Endgame, a total game changer for superhero movies. This time we're asking, what if Iron Man hadn't snapped his fingers? What if Tony Stark had actually survived?
Now, that's a question that keeps Marvel fans up at night. And the article dives headfirst into this what if. Imagine Thanos is defeated, the universe is saved. But this ending makes you face a harsh truth.
Which is?
Victory often comes at a price. But in this version, it doesn't have to be Tony's life.
That's true. I mean, his sacrifice was powerful, definitely heroic. But can you imagine him sticking around, mentoring young heroes like Peter Parker?
Exactly. The article even throws out some potential storylines. Tony using his brains and know-how to take on new villains. We could add a whole new chapter of Iron Man, full of mentorship, crazy inventions, maybe even some lighter moments, too.
Okay, more Iron Man is never a bad thing. But would it have felt the same if he hadn't had to give anything up? I mean, doesn't that take away from how powerful his sacrifice was?
You're right. This isn't just about a happy ending. It really makes you think about heroism in the Marvel Universe. Can you really call it a win without any sacrifices? And how far would these heroes go to protect everything?
Wow, that's deep. Okay, ready for a change of pace? Something a little lighter?
Hit me with it.
Let's blast back to the 80s, to a classic about an alien who just wants to call home. We're talking E.T. But this time, hold on to your hats, E.T. decides Earth is actually pretty cool and stays with Elliot.
Forget phoning home right. This ET's got homework and school dances to worry about.
Okay, but picture him trying to blend in at a pep rally? That's common gold right there.
The article has a field day with that. But it also makes you wonder if ET staying put, well, wouldn't that have changed how we see alien encounters altogether?
Instead of being scared of the unknown, maybe we'd be more open to aliens just, I don't know, hanging out, learning from each other, maybe even battling it out in a cosmic battle of the bands.
Now that I'd watch. But seriously, think about it. ET staying would have challenged us to rethink what it means to belong.
Right. What if E.T. wasn't just about friendship, but about challenging our own biases, how we treat others, what it means to be part of this world, even if you're from another planet?
Exactly. And that message would have hit even harder with ET as a permanent resident, don't you think?
For sure. Okay, we've had reunions, superhero miracles, even an alien exchange student. Ready to go a little darker.
Let's do it.
All right, buckle up. We're heading to Mordor. We're talking about Lord of the Rings. That moment when Frodo's at Mount Doom, the fate of Middle-earth in his hands. He's been through so much to destroy that ring.
Yeah, here, well, let's just say things don't go according to plan. That ring, it's got a hold on him. Its power, it's just too much to resist. And Frodo, our beacon of hope, he cracks.
Wait, hold on. You're saying Frodo keeps the ring, chooses the dark side? That's intense.
It flips Tolkien's entire story on its head. And the article does a deep dive into what makes Frodo snap. Imagine the hero becoming the villain.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. What about the others? Gandalf, Aragorn, Sam. They all believed in Frodo. To see him fall like that, devastating.
Exactly. And that's what makes this alternate ending so powerful. It's not just plot. It's about the fragility of hope, the pull of power. Instead of good conquering evil, it's a warning about the darkness inside all of us, even someone like Frodo.
I have to say, as much as I love a happy ending, this darker Lord of the Rings, it's really got me thinking, like looking into a parallel universe where things went wrong.
Yeah.
Really wrong.
Exactly. It makes you question everything. It's not just entertainment. It's like a philosophy lesson. Yeah. About temptation, good versus evil. Can anyone resist absolute power? Even a hobbit. Makes you wonder.
That is some heavy stuff. Ready for one last what if before we wrap up?
Bring it on.
All right, let's head to the Pride Lands. Time for one last cinematic makeover. We're talking The Lion King. Remember that final showdown? Simba and Scar battling for everything. Well, get ready for this. Scar wins. Can you believe it? No Simba, no Hakuna Matata. Scar rules it all.
The Pride lands under Scar's control. It's bleak. The article doesn't hold back. Everything vibrant, everything alive about it just withers under his rule.
Yeah.
And the hyenas, not laughing now, they're downright menacing, doing Scar's bidding every step of the way.
Talk about a complete 180 from the Disney classic. Instead of courage and responsibility, it's about what happens when ambition runs wild, when fear takes over.
Exactly. It's not just about Scar winning, it's about what happens after. Imagine Nala, though. She's not giving up. She's leading the resistance against Scar.
Now that's a sequel I'd watch. What about Timon and Pumbaa? Would they join the fight? Give up the Hakuna Matata life.
See, that's what I love about this. It's not just rewriting the ending. It's about the ripple effects, the new possibilities.
We're not just watching the movie anymore. We're part of the story now, creating these what-if worlds in our minds.
And that's what makes exploring these alternate endings so rewarding, don't you think?
It's like we're getting a sneak peek behind the scenes, right?
Right.
Seeing how things could have gone in a whole different direction.
And it makes you realize, even those movies we think of as untouchable, iconic, they were just one decision away from being something else entirely.
We've been on a wild ride today. Jack beating the odds on the Titanic, Iron Man, alive and well, E.T. in high school. Can you imagine the parent-teacher nights?
Don't forget Frodo, going to the dark side, and Scar ruling the Pride Lands. We've covered it all.
From love and loss to heroism and, well, a little bit of evil. And we've seen how just tweaking that ending even a little can completely change how we see a story.
It makes you question everything, the characters, the message, everything. And those what-ifs, they stick with you.
They really do. Makes you wonder what other possibilities are hiding out there in the cinematic universe.
That's the beauty of it, right? It's like life, full of possibilities. And sure, we can appreciate the choices filmmakers made, but there's always room for our own what-ifs.
Exactly. So tell me, what about you? What movie ending has you wondering what if? What would you rewrite if you had the chance?
Think about those characters that stayed with you, the plot twists that blew your mind, the moments that made you laugh, cry, anything. Now imagine them going in a completely different direction.
That's where the real fun begins. Because the what if game, it's not just for us, it's for everyone who loves movies, who loves stories. So go out there, let your imagination run wild, and see what happens.
You might just discover a whole new way to experience those classic films.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap things up. This has been a wild ride.
Until next time.